All right, Rarran. So the new expansion, Heart of the Huntress, we talked about last time with Nico Nidalee and the Majestic Poro King. I have some variety cards, some just complete bangers, and I'd love to hear your opinion on them. Here's the first one.
Okay. Well, that was really fast. All right. Okay. Right into it. Holy shit. Okay. Oh my god. The Swindler's Den, 6 mana for Bilgewater. I got it. Landmark. Your cards in hand have fleeting. When you play a card, draw 1. Does that mean every card you have has fleeting?
Yes. So they all disappear at the end of the turn.
Okay, wait, what? When you play a card, draw 1? Okay, so if I remember correctly, Bilgewater is like pretty aggressive, right? It's not like a very slow pace kind of thing. So you're playing this to just basically go ape shit with a bunch of cards and then kill your opponent. This card reminds me of a card in Hearthstone. There was a card called the Lunith. Or Alanuth, I don't know actually the pronunciation there, but it was a 6 mana mage weapon where you draw 3 cards at the end of turn. So like you're basically forced to keep playing. Yeah, you're basically forced to keep playing cards over and over again. So this one's gonna be kind of a cop out here, but like this is what I'm gonna say. If there is a deck that can support what you want to do with this, it's probably pretty good. But I think most of the time it won't be good enough, but I could see it being good. Like that's how I have to describe this, because that's how a Lunith was. Like a Lunith was, if it's good in that deck, it's one of the best cards to draw. But majority of the time, it just doesn't fit into a deck like that because it's just too like wild card, I guess. Like this could absolutely just roll you. Wait, so let me just understand this correctly. If you play this, right? That immediately turns all your cards into fleeting. So if you have no mana, it just discards your hand?
At the end of your turn. So you can play this, and then if you wanted to, you could pop off on the same turn.
But like, if you can't pop off, do you just lose all your cards in your hand? Okay, so like, okay, I'm gonna hold what I said, but I feel like this is worse than I think it is, but go ahead.
Like you basically said the exact same thing that everybody else said when this card got revealed. Right now, it doesn't see any play, but it did see a lot of play when the expansion first came out. What's really funny is that Bilgewater has coins. So what you could technically do is play this on 6 mana, use a coin, get all your mana back, and then just literally pop off and just kill your opponent instantly.
Yeah, see, I forgot about the coin mechanic,
So another thing is, because you discard your hand at the start of next turn, cards that add another card to your hand have a lot of value. So you could like play 1 card, it adds another like garbage card to your hand, but if you play that, you draw another card. So you're like playing with 2 cards, you keep playing them and you draw more. This is like really good in burn strategies because you get like a burn spell, you point at the opponent's nexus, you get another one, and you just keep pointing them until the opponent's dead.
Okay, so I'm gonna count that as a point for me because that's basically what I said, right? Like, right?
You were leaning towards the not so good side, so fine.
Hey man, I gotta take that. I have a reputation
for Rarran.
Thank you.
That's true.
Also, I'm gonna warn you, if you show me a card called, I think it's called Siren Song, I already know how good that card is because YouTube comments wouldn't shut the hell up about it when we did the review video.
I had that one in my list, but okay, I won't show it.
Okay, you can leave it. Cut it from the video. So I look like a fucking genius.
All right, we'll do. Here you go. Quick, really fast. Skip the All-Seeing Oracle. What about this one?
Siren Song. I've never seen this card before. 4 mana. It's a slow. Summon a random husk. Grant 1 allies everywhere. +1/+1. That looks really broken.
Okay, if you didn't see any of those comments, what would you have thought about this card? Would you have thought it was bad?
Okay, summon a random husk.
I guess it's hard to say,
allies,
don't you know?
Everywhere +1/+1. Let me actually like review this. Summon a random husk. Husk was the thing from Evelyn, right? If I remember correctly.
Correct.
Okay, summon a random husk. Grant 1 cost allies everywhere +1/+1. I mean, okay, so in Hearthstone, this might be a little slow. There's actually a card in Hearthstone, I forget what it's actually named, but it's 4 mana, give your minions everywhere +1/+1. But Runeterra has spell mana, so you don't lose your whole turn to just playing that card, which actually means this card's probably better, plus you summon something. I wouldn't probably call it broken, like I wouldn't understand why this would be so powerful, but like I already know what it is based on the YouTube comments, but I would say this card's good. I wouldn't say it's like meta defining as people were describing it, at least.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason why this was so powerful is because you could just play nothing on turn 1 and 2, and then on turn 3 you would play this card. You would have 2 mana left, and then you would play a 1-drop that's also buffed. Gets even stronger because of the husk, and then you have like a 1 mana 4/3 with like, you know,
and it just
for even more.
Snowballs. It snowballs hard. Like,
exactly.
That card in Hearthstone is completely balanced in the fact that the class that they gave to has no mana cheating. So you have to play it for 4 mana. Where if you can use the spell mana, like Hearthstone had spell mana, the card's like giga nuts because it starts snowballing pretty fast. Do you remember Prince Kalrix from Hearthstone? Were you playing during that time?
Dude, hell yeah! I played. What was it, Druid? With 1 spell or something?
But that probably was a deck. I can't remember. I was playing in a rogue mainly with Shadow Step, but this reminds me of Prince Kalrix. That's what I'll just say. Because if I could jam this on turn 3 and just buff everything in my deck, and also it affects the board, Kalrix only affect the deck, so it's probably good.
everything here.
Good. Sorry, let's go back to All-Seeing Oracle. I'm sorry, I should have said that at the start. I feel kind of bad, but I had a feeling you were going to show it to me. All-Seeing Oracle, 4-mana 4/3 from Ionia. Ionia, right? Is that hello, Sunny? We can try.
Yeah, no, it's Ionia. I ran away because it was an Ionia card. No, it started raining like crazy. Okay. I had to run to a window.
Pick one of 3 fast or slow spells in the enemy's hand to create a Carvings of Divination. That sounds better. Or it's stop the chosen spell. Oh, it's like a counter spell, right? But you use it on. Wait, okay, hold on. There's a couple of things I have to understand about this card. So you discover something in your opponent's deck or hand, and then you just counter that spell, like preemptively.
Yeah, so in Runeterra, you can play up to 3 cards of something. So if you pick one of the 3, spells that are in the opponent's deck that you want to counter, doesn't matter what copy they play, it will just counter that spell. The name of that spell, it will counter.
Oh, so even if there's multiple copies, it just stops it.
I mean, the first one, you stop the chosen spell. But it doesn't matter if you predicted a specific one of those 3, it will just stop any of the 3.
I see. Does your opponent know what spell you stopped?
No.
Ooh, hey, that's very spicy. Hold on a second. God, in Hearthstone has secrets. This is basically the same concept, but I guess you get more information about what spells are in your opponent's deck. I think that's more relevant in Runeterra than it probably is in Hearthstone, because you can counter their stuff. I don't know. Is this good? I think it would be. Because if your opponent doesn't know what it is and you get a really good spell for them to stop, you could roll them. And they spend their mana first, right? The mana is gone.
Yes, it's entirely gone.
God, I feel like I'm going to get baited here. Is this card actually good? 4-mana 4/3 seems like a pretty whatever stat line, but the effect is fine. I think it's fine. I don't know if it's good. It's tough. I think this could be it could be really good or really bad. I'm going to go with fine. I'm going on average, it's fine. You're okay playing it.
Okay, so since this card has been released in the game, the amount of spells that I have been denied by the All-Seeing Oracle is exactly 0. It just sees no play.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I thought this card was going to be nuts, but I have not seen it at all.
It doesn't see. Okay, so you haven't seen it get played, right? But
yeah.
What is does that mean no one plays it?
Yeah, I looked at the leaderboards before we start recording, and there is no deck with this card at all.
Wait, what the hell? That's so mean. No one tried it? What if it's gas? What if it's broken?
Ionia is just that kind of region. People see a new card for Ionia, is like, nah, we're just all gonna agree not to do that because it's a cringe region. No, but seriously, it's just not very good.
Okay, I see. I don't know, dude. Maybe you should try. That sounds like a video in the making. It's free content. I don't know if I'm gonna count that as a loss because how do we know if the card's good or not if it hasn't seen play?
Well, I mean, I think that's the reason it doesn't see play because it's just not very good.
I'm joking.
Nice try though.
I was trying. Okay. In Hearthstone, that's okay. No, Hearthstone's counterspell. It's the best thing we have for that. And counterspell sometimes sees play, but it's mainly from Discover, so I guess it makes sense.
Dude, I played Hearthstone one time after we did a recording, and I got so upset. It was a mage card that just removed my minion.
Objection?
And it didn't do anything.
Okay, everyone fucking hates that card. That card's...
Okay, I insta-surrendered a game against a mage because I played 4 copies of it. They just kept getting more of it. I don't know how. It was infuriating. I hated it.
Yeah, mage is fun right now, dude.
No, I'm sure.
Captain Kalrix. Let's go with that. What the fuck is this thing? He's jacked, bro. Holy shit. 5 mana Noxus. Overwhelm. Nexus Strike. Deal damage to the enemy Nexus equal to half its health rounded up. Deal damage to the enemy Nexus equal to half its health. So that's the Nexus's health, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hold on. It's a 1/5 though. That's pretty garbage. Dude, there's no way this card's good. But it has Overwhelm. But you have 1 attack. Okay. This card's bad. Unless Sunny, unless you're not showing me a card there's a card that just makes this good. If this card is at some point playable during the game, you can't look at me and tell me you're playing this card ever for a 5-mana 1/5. So there is a card in this game that buffs this so it's not as awful, so you can proc the Overwhelm, because I'm going to assume if I proc the Overwhelm and even if I do 1 damage to their Nexus, it does half of it. So
yeah, that's correct.
I'm going to go with it's bad unless you're not showing me a card that makes this good. That's your final answer.
Okay, no, it's just bad.
Okay.
The best thing you could do with this card is put it all the way on the left, because Runeterra attacks left to right, and then stun the unit that's right in front of Kalrix. Because he has Overwhelm, so it goes through. And then, the rest of the board does damage. It also instantly levels up Darius.
Yeah,
It's a cool card, but it's pretty bad.
Did you make a video on this yet? That's a pause.
Yeah,
card.
Dude, I was pissed because I actually got to Diamond 1, 80 LP, so I needed one more win for Master with a Captain Kalrix deck, and I got gate capped. And then I lost everything.
What the hell? And you couldn't say I got Master with Captain Galrix or whatever the hell his name is? Oh, dude.
I think it's Gallywix.
Gallywix, that makes sense. Yeah, I see the resemblance from the Hearthstone character, actually.
Exactly. I think it's based on him.
Hold on,
That's probably just him under that mask.
Let me get a portrait of Gallywix just real fast, just so I can see this. Let me see it.
Hey,
God, dude, you know what? Now that you say it, he looks very close. You can see it, like.
Yeah, no, there it is. That's him in the flesh.
Oh my God. Age of Dragons. Targon, 12 mana, slow for the top 9 cards in your deck. Draw each dragon and reduce their cost to 0 this round, then shuffle the rest into your deck. That is a spicer. That is, Sunny, what we like to call a content card. It's bad.
Hell yeah.
But you definitely made a YouTube video on it.
I have, yeah, multiple.
Is it bad? Was I on the money?
It's not bad, but it's not like tier 1. I would say this is like a tier 2 deck.
Wait, bro, bad
it
is
not playable.
Bad is not tier
playable.
2. Bad is like tier 7. Like,
yeah, okay, no, it is playable because if you combine this with Freljord,
okay,
you can ramp. So you can like, Freljord is very good at ramping. So you would just like have all the ramp cards, some sustain, some board clear. You play this on like turn 7 or something, and then you win the game automatically if your opponent doesn't stop it.
Even when I played Runeterra, I don't remember ramping with Freljord, but if this card was in Druid for Hearthstone, which is the ramping class in Hearthstone, like it would probably see play if it was a ton. So it makes a little bit more sense. Also, like how many decks can, like, let's say you just got 5 dragons, right? Like you have to put a certain amount of density, right? Not a lot of decks can handle that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, it's a very specific deck. It can only be played in like one way basically, and you need like, I think 12 dragons or something to make this worth it.
Yeah, that's kind of fun actually. I want to go play with that card. That's kind of gas. Look at this little guy. Who's this? This is little guy.
It's Gallywix, his son.
Oh, is it? Hold on, let me see the resemblance. Oh yeah. 2 mana burst spell, condensed. Pick a follower, create a 1-cost copy of it in hand and set its stats to 1/1. Probably really good. I'd play this in Hearthstone. Easy clap. There used to be a card actually called Shadowcaster, which did the exact same thing, but it was 5 mana, and that card was playable. So at 2 mana, I think this is really good. That's my final answer. It's probably really good. No way it's not.
Yeah, this sucks, man. Dude, you're way too good at this now. You got like everything right. What the hell? Yeah, this card is turbo busted. It's so good.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, you got me worried there for a second. I was like, is he being sarcastic? No, dude, listen, we've talked about this before a lot. Mana cheating is really good. So if I get a 1-cost follower in my hand, no matter what the man, like, because most of the time, ask yourself this question: when's the last time you actually played a minion for its stat line?
Oh, I mean, Demacia is like pretty good in Runeterra, but yeah, even right now, playing fair stats for the cost, there need to be additional effects, I guess.
Yeah, they're always like in Hearthstone, like you get to the point where power creep is just like you have to have something on the card. If it doesn't do anything besides a big meatball, like it doesn't work, which we talked about way before. But this is really good because it's now 1 mana for an effect that you probably cast for 6-7 mana at this point. I don't know. And Runeterra has spell mana, which makes this card even better. This is probably one of the best cards you've ever showed me, if I had to take a guess.
Right now, yes. It's completely like just creating decks that are played at like tier 1 because of this card.
If it said pick a champion, God, good luck.
Here's a monument for Gallywix. I don't know. I'm just calling everything that's green Gallywix at this point, but
this is it.
Figure it out.
Sump. What the hell is a sump? What is that? Sump monument. Okay, 3 mana. This isn't Banal City. What is this?
Piltover, the Arcane region.
Oh, okay. I love Arcane Bat Chest. If your Nexus would take non-poison puff cap damage, your opponent plants 4 poison puff caps in your deck for each damage instead. Okay, remind me what the puff caps do. Is it just 1 damage? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's 1 damage. It attaches to random cards in the deck.
If your Nexus would take non-puff cap damage, your opponent plants. Okay, so that's really interesting. God, I don't know. Like the thing about this card is it's like almost a reverse win condition. Actually, it's not even like a reverse win condition. It's like a reverse loss win condition. Does that make sense? Loss condition? Reverse loss condition? Like this isn't going to win you the game, but like it might put pressure on your opponent like indirectly because they're attacking your Nexus, I would imagine. I would imagine this isn't very good.
When you hit the Nexus of the player that plays this card.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of taking damage, it shuffles puff caps into their deck.
Oh, wait, I read the card wrong.
Oh, okay. Your explanation still made sense with what you were saying, but you basically have to see this as
it was okay. My apologies. I read the card wrong. This is classic me. I don't read. Fun fact, dude. When I play Hearthstone, my brain literally turns off, and this is the same concept. Card games to me, apparently, I'm just stupid. But my thought process before you clarified that was like, if you play this against an aggro deck, you kind of just like, oh, like that's fine. You wait, hold on a second. What the fuck? How do you take damage if you play this?
You don't. Instead of taking damage, 4 puff caps get shuffled into the deck. So,
wait, so then how do you lose?
Like, by drawing the puff caps.
Oh, I see.
It's very Piltover and Zon, where it's like, okay, this either goes really well or it blows up in my face. It's literally like the arcane thing with Jinx.
This card is hurting my mind.
Wait, you have to imagine if you play this card and I ping your Nexus for 1. Instead, you take 0 damage and 4 puff caps get shuffled into your deck. So if I attack you with something that has 8 damage or 8 attack, instead you get like 32 puff caps into your deck.
It's okay. So and then puff caps only do 1 damage. It doesn't matter how many you've drawn. They always do 1.
I mean, you can draw like 5 at a time, but yeah, they do.
I understand. Okay, so
1 5.
That'll do 5. What the fuck? That's so crazy, though. Oh my god, sorry, I can't, like, I read the card wrong, and even after you explain it to me, I still can't believe this card exists. That's so crazy. Is this good? Like, it might be. Holy shit, I think this is so matchup dependent. Against the combo deck, you just roll them. Like, what do you do? Like, you put this down the turn before, and they're just like, okay, I guess I lose, because you'd rather just shuffle poison puff caps in your deck than die. So that's probably good. Against aggro, it delays their win condition and gives you enough time to potentially win the game. Control decks don't really care about this card. So it's very matchup dependent, it feels like. Dude, I have no reference for how good this card is. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is probably like the craziest card we've ever had in Runeterra. The effect, like this completely like breaks everything we do about Runeterra.
I'm sitting here. Oh my god. What's a Sump? What is that? Can you explain what that is first?
What is the Sump, Arcane?
What is the
Sump Sucker? A derogatory term for a person from the Sump level. Yeah, that still doesn't explain it. I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, God, I don't know. I think this is good. I think it's good because actually, let me rephrase that. It's good in very specific metas. If you know you're going against aggressive decks, this card's probably insane because you would rather like take the chance, but you're also spending 3 mana. No, I think it's fine. No, it's good. It's good. Good card.
Okay. So how many turns in Hearthstone does Ice Block buy you? 1 turn, right?
One.
Yeah. This sometimes just buys you 5 turns. It's completely ridiculous.
So what the fuck?
Yeah, this card is insane. It's so stupid. It really, like, I love that this card exists in Runeterra because it's so crazy and just completely wild. But it becomes really frustrating if you have to play against it like multiple times and you're like, okay, I'm attacking my opponent for 50 damage here and they're on 5 HP. And then the next turn they draw 4 shrooms and you can't kill them. And Piltover has burn damage. So one deck that this is played in.
You slowly lose the game. You just slowly lose.
Exactly. So there is a Teemo deck, and Teemo in Legends of Runeterra, you've probably seen him. He like shuffles puff caps into the enemy deck, and that's how they try to kill him. There is a card called Karina, which is a 6 mana card that says activate all the traps in the top 5 cards of the opponent's deck or something. So what happens is you can condense Karina, and like that's also a reason why Condense is so good, and then activate the traps in the top 5 card like 3 times. And the reason you can get away with like slow plays like that is because you can just set up the Sump Monument and do all of that in 1 turn. Because usually Teemo decks are very fragile. If they can't block like the opponent's attack, they lose. But with Sump Monument, they don't have to worry about that. They can just take the attack and then do their combo. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Is there a card in the game that says destroy an opponent's landmark?
Yeah. There are. So it's really funny. There's one. Yeah, landmark removal is usually pretty good because we have very toxic metas if landmark removal isn't good, but there aren't many that do it at like fast speed, so there aren't many that you can do it with during combat. So it's really funny when like the Teemo players make like a really greedy block that would normally kill them, and then you just remove the landmark at fast speed and they die. It's hilarious.
There's a lot of mind games there. This is okay. So like when I first read this card, what I thought it meant was rather than rather than your opponent, like me shuffling the poison puff caps into my deck, they shuffle it into my deck. I was like, oh, like that doesn't seem nearly as good, but what the fuck? There's a card in Hearthstone called Solid Alibi, which is like mage as well, which says your opponent, your hero can only take 1 damage at a time, which is pretty much this.
Yeah, that sounds disgusting. Yeah.
And that card is really fucking good. So yeah, this card, what the fuck? What a weird ass card though. Every card you've showed me, like nothing compares to this card. This might be the strongest card you've ever shown me, and I said that earlier. With,
and the effect is, it's. I mean, I think it's really cool to have effects like that in Runeterra, but because of like the interaction-based gameplay, the fact that this is 3 mana is just ridiculous. It can easily buy a player like 5 turns.
I guess the logic behind it is like there is a way to deal with it, and some decks just don't care about this effect. I think. Yeah. I don't know if that's necessarily true though. Like Hearthstone has had the text destroy your opponent's hero, right? I don't know if the text is destroy your opponent's nexus is in Runeterra.
Yeah.
So that would completely negate this effect because you're not actually dealing damage. You're just killing their nexus. So maybe that's the win condition behind this. But I guess if this card ever becomes popular enough, they might nerf it. I say that, but Solid Alibi still hasn't been nerfed, and it's been a very popular card. So good luck.
I mean, this card right now is in like top decks and multiple. So I think we have a pretty good shot at getting it nerfed.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
It's depressing.
We're gonna need it.
Return O Wrench, 2 mana 0/0. Can you remind me what the keywords are? I know one's the
one on the left is impact. So that means when you strike during an attack, you deal 1 to the enemy nexus. And the other one is the fact that it's equipment.
When I'm discarded, equip me to a random unequipped ally. So you just give this. What? You just give. Oh, hold on. But you can buff these things, right? They're buff cards for equipment.
Yeah, with Ornn.
Okay. I was sitting there like, is that good? Like, I don't know if I want to just put this card in my deck for impact, but if you buff this and you get to play it for free, mana cheating's awesome. When I'm discarded, okay, so if I remember from when I played Runeterra, discarding cards were actually pretty great, but it's more like what card you want to discard was the bigger problem.
Yeah.
And that was always honestly one of the coolest mechanics in the game. I don't know if you remember how discard works in Hearthstone, but it's completely random. You don't often get to pick what card you discard, which I think is stupid. I can't believe they still haven't changed it. This is probably great. I mean, if you have a way to discard this, worst case scenario, right? You just give one of your followers impact. And wait, can you equip something in your hand, or does it have to be on board?
No, it has to be on board.
Okay. So, I mean, most of the time, if you're going to put this into your deck, you probably have stuff on board, I would imagine. And you're not going to discard this until you have something on board, which is probably fine. I don't really know what Bandle City's up to these days, but I'd imagine this card's probably pretty great.
Yeah, there are units that can discard something from hand, and then it automatically equips to them.
Okay, so this is Giganuts, right? Right, Sonny? Right?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Giganuts.
But nice try, idiot.
I was like, I'm gonna tell him why it's powerful, and maybe he'll think I'm baiting him. But no, that didn't work. You didn't mention the reason why it's even more Giganuts. It's the fact that when the unit dies that this is equipped to, this goes back to the hand, so you can discard it again. It's like infinite discard.
I forgot that mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, see, that's like the equipment mechanic, because I haven't personally played with it. Like, you don't remember every small detail, right? That makes the card even more fucking insane. Actually, that's so broken. Yeah. What?
I love the name because in Runeterra we have like these mecha yordles. It's like mech arena stuff, and they discard stuff. So this is like a boomerang, but it's a wrench. So it's, you know, it goes to the board, it goes back to hand.
Like that. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Nice flavor. Let's go, Riot Team. Yeah, card's nuts. What the fuck? The last 3 cards you showed me are so insane.
Yeah.
Is this game okay? Like, relax. Jesus.
So the thing is, we get like 3 champions, right? And a lot of cards are like tied to that package for that champion, so they're playable. But these are like the more variety cards that are more like generally applicable.
So I don't know how it is in Runeterra, but in Hearthstone, generally, the best expansions end up being the ones that just don't have a predefined archetype. Because there's a lot more you can do with it than like, oh, this just builds a mech deck or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It seems to be the case. I don't know if the last 3 cards are all like just doing their own thing. They're not in a predefined archetype, but god fucking damn, bro. Those are nutty.
A lot of them are.
Mageseeker Jr. Is this Silas when he was younger? It might be, or maybe it's someone else. 3 mana 3/3 for Demacia. Spells that cost 3 less. Sorry, spells that cost less than 3 cost 3 instead. So this is like an aura for your opponent as well.
Yeah, for everyone.
I mean, Okay, this is this good? Look, it probably, okay, oh my God, hold on. I have to think bigger because in Hearthstone, you play this card, then your opponent gets to react on their turn. And depending on what the deck would be, they either don't care at all or it might actually just win you the game. I would imagine Runeterra, it's almost the same concept. But the fact that there's spell mana makes this card probably slightly better. And because you're the one playing with this, you can play this card last so it doesn't hurt you. But how often is that really relevant? Again, maybe this card is just very meta dependent. If there's a lot of aggressive decks, you drop this card, but then your opponent gets to trade into it and you play the 3-mana 3/3. So maybe you put it against the combo deck, but if you put it against the combo deck, they just clear it first before they cast their combo, but maybe that's enough time for you to actually just win the game. I can see this being good. I don't think it is realistically. Like, I think it's just, this is like a dream case scenario where sometimes this might win you the game, but most of the time it's just not good enough. Hearthstone has had cards like this, and most of the time they just don't see play. So that's my final answer.
It's basically what you said. It's a little bit more nuanced because spell slinging decks in Runeterra have historically been like extremely good. There's always like at least one spell slinging deck that's at the top, and then Mageseeker Jr. would just counter that completely. Right now we have Samira Fizz at like the top of the meta, and Mageseeker Jr. just completely obliterates that deck. There is like nothing they can do because Mageseeker Jr. doesn't even care about discounts. If you have an effect that discounts your card, doesn't matter. It's still 3 mana. Seraphine was a really big problem because Seraphine would be all about spell discounts. And if this guy was around during that era, he would probably be like extremely good. Because even if your opponent tries to remove it, it probably won't be with like heart removal. Like if your opponent plays like a 6-mana heart removal spell on this guy, you're probably happy. But most of the time it's just going to be like, okay, I want to deal 3 to this guy. And then you have Demacia, who has spells that are like 2 or 3 mana that buff an ally. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna pay my normal mana cost for this to protect my Mageseeker Jr. The problem is mainly that there are no real unit-based decks for Demacia because they have received some nerfs. But if those still existed, I would imagine that they play this. So it's basically what you said. It's very meta-dependent. Right now it's leaning towards bad. But if there was a deck that could support a 3-mana 3/3 with this effect, then it would just be really good.
Yeah. Very niche win condition,
Yeah, you can just kind of let it sit there. We've had cards like this in the past. We've had a 2-mana 1/3 that just read like all spells cost 1 more. And that has seen meta play. That
has seen play in Hearthstone. Because that is, there are cards that like, I don't know how that one worked. Was that just an aura? So Hearthstone has had cards that played like your opponent's spells next turn cost 1 more. That has seen a lot of play. Lotheb, if you remember him, your opponent's spells cost 5 more next turn, was like one of the best legendaries ever printed.
Yeah, I remember him.
But like, yeah. Okay, cool. I think I'm actually killing this today. I think I'm doing really well.
You are. You're doing insane, actually.
Let's go. Yeah, I just thought like Hearthstone players are just smarter on average, so it is what it is.
Wait and see until the next time, Rarran.
Okay, Sacrificial Scholar. I mean, to be fair, I can't read on that one card, so I guess you're just smarter than me. 2-mana 1/2. What is this again? Fuck, I just said it. Targon. What is Faded?
When you target this ally with a spell, only the user, the owner of the card, I guess, it gets +1/+1.
Wait, so this card would get +1/+1?
Yeah, so if you play a buff on this card, it also gets +1/+1 on top.
Okay. Last Breath, create in hand, oh my God, copies of the first 3 spells you played on me. Yo. See, this is interesting because I think this is actually good because you generally put good cards into your deck. And I'm sure there are cases where you specifically were like, I wish I could put more of these cards in my deck, but I can't. But how relevant is that in the actual game of Runeterra? What kind of deck you want this in? I don't, like, maybe aggro. I don't know how aggro Targon actually is, but I guess you pair with another region.
There is a Pantheon archetype that is just faded. Pantheon levels after you've targeted allies 5 times.
Combo likes this too, because you could just get more of this card you actually need. You don't have to draw it. It's like redundancy. Control probably likes this too. I mean, this is probably just a fine card. I don't think it's meta defining or anything, but like this is like you probably think about putting this into your deck. Absolutely. I think it's probably better in aggro than it is controller combo, because I think the win condition here is like you save your spell mana maybe turn 1. You go 2-mana 1/2, play a spell on this, and you get that spell back in your hand when this dies, but you also get the +1/+1. And then you also get the additional benefit of getting those 3 spells back in your hand to just use it on different minions. I think this card's good. I would see this. This could probably see this play 100%.
I actually, I showed you a card earlier that actually lets you go infinite with the Sacrificial Scholar, the Condensed.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. I think you said that. I think you said it out loud. Wait, maybe you did. I don't know if you did.
No, I don't think I did, but yeah, it lets you go.
Let me connect the dots here. So this card is insane.
No, it sees virtually no play, actually.
What? fucking baiting? Wait, why? Why
So,
is this card?
It's
too
even
slow?
more messed up because this card actually came out a month before last expansion. We have a balance update 1 month. Next month we have variety cards, which is like 10 cards that just get added to the game. That was with this card, and then we have an expansion a month later. This card was added during that variety update, and yeah, no, like people experimented, but it just never turned out to be quite good enough. I don't really know why, because to me it also seemed like a completely insane card, but Pantheon doesn't see a ton of play. He's actually like pretty sleeper right now. He has an insane win rate. People just don't really play him, but even in Pantheon decks, most people don't include the Sacrificial Scholar. So yeah, I don't know. Value's insane, but you needed to die, right? And if you invest that much like resources into a card and then you needed to die to get the cards back, it's just kind of awkward.
I guess, but it's 2 mana. Like you're acting like it's like 5. Like I don't even think that's that bad. It's like maybe okay. I don't know. I couldn't claim it, but this card seems very strong. Like in Hearthstone, I think this card would see play. That's just getting the last 3 spell or getting 3 copies of the first spell you played on this, because you would hold. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but like maybe at some point in Targon there's a spell that you want more copies of, and this is just how you get it. I don't know if there's other options for it though. That's also the other thing that could be stopping this card from seeing play. Maybe you don't need 3 copies of a spell. I don't know. That's really interesting. I thought it would be insane.
The cards you are playing on this are buffs for your allies. So it's like how much do you need additional? If this one died, then you're probably playing against a deck with a lot of removal. So it's yeah, and you have to build up that next ally that you play with like Faded and stuff. So it's a lot of resources and mana that go into a card, and then you have to reset the Faded. Yeah.
I would think in a vacuum, like you said, this card would be turbo nuts, but I guess I'm wrong. That's kind of crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
what the hell?
I'm very happy that you got this one wrong, because those were all the cards. I think you kind of had like there was almost like a slam dunk, man. What the hell? Have you been playing Runeterra secretly? Is that it?
Yeah, I'm actually Masters. What's the number one? What's the guy's name at the top? I'm the guy below him. I don't look up. I can't look up. No, dude, honestly, like I kind of want to go play this fucking Sump Monument card. I actually might go try it. Okay, dude. Well, I'm glad I kicked ass. This is free.
No, for sure. It was kind of insane, actually. I think this was your best run so far.